A gynecologist's insight: 7 essential morning rituals for women over 60 to foster healthy aging. Most of our mornings unfold in a familiar sequence. A warm cup of coffee rests on the nightstand, followed by a quick scroll through the day's news, and perhaps a fleeting glance in the mirror before we embark on our daily activities. But allow me to pose an inquiry that the majority of women over the age of 60 rarely encounter. What if the single most significant action you are not taking for your vaginal health each morning is quietly sculpting your energy levels, your self-confidence, and even the degree of comfort with which you use the restroom? I am fully aware that this is not the sort of question people typically ask. However, as a gynecologist with a career spanning more than 3 decades dedicated to the comprehensive care of women, I can state with certainty that your vaginal health is not an isolated component separate from your overall well-being. It serves as one of your body's most potent and articulate signaling systems. It is a direct reflection of your hormonal balance, the efficiency of your circulation, the integrity of your pelvic floor strength, and, on occasion, it can provide you with the earliest warnings about underlying conditions such as osteoporosis or even certain forms of cancer. Ignoring this vital area does not make its messages disappear. Conversely, paying it mindful attention has the power to change everything. I will never forget one of my cherished patients, a vibrant 74-year-old woman who, sitting across from me in my office, whispered with a sense of revelation, "I simply assumed my body was just slowing down. I had no idea that something entirely different might be happening." What she had been experiencing was not merely the inevitable advance of old age. For years, her body had been dispatching subtle clues to her, clues that she had never been educated to interpret. The moment she acquired the knowledge to notice them, her physical comfort was restored, her bladder control markedly improved, and her self-assurance blossomed in ways she had never thought conceivable. And her situation is far from unique. I have provided care for countless women in their 60s, 70s, and even their 80s who had come to believe that the changes occurring down there were just an unavoidable part of growing older. But the unvarnished truth is that a significant number of those changes can be substantially alleviated or even entirely prevented through the adoption of small, consistent habits. These are habits you can inaugurate as early as tomorrow morning, immediately upon waking. That is precisely why, in today's discussion, I intend to guide you through 7 straightforward, scientifically supported morning actions that every woman over 60 can implement to bolster her vaginal health and her overall vitality. They are eminently practical, remarkably quick, and profoundly respectful of your body's intricate design. And I urge you to remain with me through to tip number 6. It is the one practice that nearly every woman overlooks, yet it frequently uncovers the most preliminary warning signs that a specific issue requires your attention. But before we proceed, I would like to take a brief pause. If you are new to this community, I want to extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to you. This channel is dedicated to providing women over 60 with clear, compassionate, and evidence-based guidance that the majority of physicians seldom have the time to articulate thoroughly. If you recognize the value in this type of conversation, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell so you will not miss any future insights. Furthermore, if you have a friend or a sister who could benefit from this information, please share it with her. You can never predict whose life you might gently and positively influence. So let us begin. Picture this scenario. You awaken tomorrow morning, and before you rush to the bathroom, before you pour your first cup of coffee, you allow yourself a moment to observe 2 elementary things. First, you inspect your body with a sense of gentle curiosity, not with shame, searching for minor alterations that could represent your body's early alert system. And second, you provide your system with the essential hydration it has been anticipating all night long, thereby establishing a positive foundation for the entire day ahead. These constitute just the first 2 of 7 habits that can empower you to feel more comfortable, more self-assured, and more in command of your well-being. Because your health at this chapter of life is not a quest for perfection or a chase after youth. It is about fostering a partnership, listening attentively to your body's signals, and responding with deliberate care. And that partnership commences in the very first moments of your morning. Now let us delve into the most prevalent errors I observe women over 60 making within the initial hours of their day. These routines might appear innocuous, even reflexive, yet over an extended period, they can insidiously compromise your vaginal health, deplete your energy reserves, and erode your confidence. The primary mistake is navigating the morning in a rush without tuning into your body's signals. The majority of women have been socialized to disregard or downplay the occurrences in the vaginal region. We were raised in a generation where such topics were not openly discussed. But here is the reality. The vulva and vagina frequently offer the most immediate clues that something warrants your attention. Indications like redness, a patch of skin that appears different in texture or color, or even subtle swelling. These are your body's equivalent of a check engine light. One of my patients, Barbara, aged 67, observed a small patch of pale skin that simply would not resolve. Initially, she dismissed it as nothing, but because she brought it up during her appointment, we were able to detect a precancerous condition at a very early stage. It was treated promptly, and she resumed her life without any complications. Had she postponed action until she experienced pain or bleeding, the outcome might have been vastly different. Consider it this way: you would not operate your vehicle for years on end without ever glancing at the dashboard. Your body is deserving of the exact same level of respect. Ignoring signals offers no protection. It only delays the opportunity to intervene when problems remain simple. The second misstep is proceeding directly to the bathroom without hydrating first. I understand how instinctual this feels. You awaken, your bladder feels full, and your immediate impulse is to head to the toilet. However, following 7 or 8 hours of sleep, your body is in a state of mild dehydration. Your blood is more viscous, your circulation is more sluggish, and your kidneys are laboring more than usual. If you empty your bladder before rehydrating, you are effectively compelling your body to flush out waste products without supplying it with the necessary fluid to perform the task efficiently. This places undue stress on your kidneys and leaves your pelvic tissues just as dehydrated as the rest of your body. One of my patients, Nancy, adopted a new routine. She began keeping a glass of room temperature water at her bedside and would sip it before getting up. Within a matter of weeks, she reported feeling less urinary urgency, experiencing fewer bladder twinges, and even noticing a reduction in dryness. Science validates her experience. Hydration stands as one of the most straightforward methods to enhance circulation to every tissue in your body, which includes the delicate tissues of your vagina. It represents a small choice, but one that yields substantial dividends in comfort and resilience. The third oversight is neglecting to awaken your pelvic floor. Most women perceive stretching as an activity reserved for athletes, but the reality is that your pelvic floor muscles demand just as much attention as your back or your knees. After you have been lying motionless all night, blood flow to your lower body naturally diminishes. If you commence your day by sitting at the breakfast table scrolling on your phone, or otherwise remaining sedentary for a prolonged period, your pelvic floor continues in a sluggish state. A simple 60 seconds of movement, sitting tall on the edge of the bed, gently tilting your pelvis forward and backward, then incorporating a few light contractions of your pelvic muscles can produce a world of difference. It is akin to giving your body a gentle reminder, "Wake up, we are going to need your support today." I recall Elaine, a 69-year-old patient who confided that she was nervous to leave her home due to occasional leakage. After integrating just 1 minute of pelvic movement into her mornings, she observed fewer trips to the restroom and felt significantly more secure. She laughed as she told me, "It's as if my body finally remembered how to cooperate with me again." And here is a little teaser to pique your interest. Many women are under the impression that they are helping themselves in the shower each morning, but one of the most widespread cleanliness habits actually works in opposition to your body's health. In fact, it can precipitate irritation, infections, and discomfort that may persist for months. We will discuss that in just a moment because it might be the one habit you do not even recognize as quietly inflicting harm. Thus far, we have examined 3 common missteps: ignoring early signals, forgoing pre-bathroom hydration, and allowing the pelvic floor to remain dormant. The wonderful news is that each of these issues has a simple science-supported solution that you can initiate tomorrow morning. Let's break them down into manageable steps that you can build upon over time. First, the short-term solutions. These are actions you can begin immediately, without needing to wait for a doctor's appointment or any special equipment. Commence with observation. Tomorrow morning, before you hurry through your routine, grant yourself 30 seconds of gentle awareness. Examine your vulva, check for any changes, and simply take note of how you feel. Think of it as checking the local weather forecast before you step outside. You are not required to overanalyze, you just need to be aware so you can determine whether to grab an umbrella. Couple this practice with hydration. Position a glass of water by your bed and sip it before you make your way to the bathroom. You are not only aiding your kidneys in flushing out toxins more effectively, but you are also directing fresh, oxygenated blood flow to your pelvic tissues. Within a few days, many women report experiencing less urgency, reduced dryness, and a greater sense of steadiness. Finally, incorporate 60 seconds of pelvic activation. Gentle tilts of your pelvis while seated, succeeded by light squeezes of your pelvic muscles, are sufficient to awaken circulation and provide you with a head start against leakage or feelings of pressure. These are minuscule habits, but their benefits compound rapidly when practiced daily. Now let us transition to the medium-term solutions. These are habits that you can reinforce over a period of weeks to months, which will bring about noticeable improvements in your comfort and confidence. One of the most significant shifts originates from rethinking how you cleanse your body. A large number of women still operate under the belief that a stronger soap or more vigorous scrubbing equates to superior hygiene. However, the vulva is composed of delicate skin that is protected by natural oils and a community of healthy bacteria. When we strip those protective layers away with hot water, harsh cleansers, or douching, the likelihood of irritation and infection increases dramatically. Instead, adopt a philosophy of gentleness. Utilize lukewarm water and, if necessary, a mild, unscented cleanser applied only to the external skin. Steer clear of scented products, aggressive scrubbing, or any form of internal washing. It might seem overly simplistic, but countless patients of mine have found relief from burning, itching, or dryness merely by altering their cleansing methods. As I frequently remind them, your vagina is a self-cleaning organ. Treat it with respect, not with chemicals. Another medium-term adjustment involves reconsidering breakfast. The initial foods you consume each day have a profound impact on your hormone balance, blood sugar regulation, and tissue health. A sugary pastry or a processed cereal might feel comforting, but it can disrupt your natural pH balance, elevate your risk of yeast infections, and leave you feeling sluggish. In its place, begin your day with foods that actively support your body: plain yogurt adorned with berries and flax seeds, whole grain toast with avocado, or a boiled egg accompanied by a handful of walnuts. These choices deliver probiotics, healthy fats, and plant-based compounds that assist tissues in maintaining their elasticity and resilience. I am reminded of Martha, a 68-year-old woman who exchanged her morning muffin for yogurt with nuts and fruit. Within a month, she shared with me, "I never realized that food could make such a significant difference down there, but it truly did." It also enhanced her energy levels throughout the entire day. And lastly, let us discuss the long-term solutions. These are habits designed to protect your pelvic health not merely for today or tomorrow, but for the years ahead. The most powerful of these is movement, not exercise in a punishing sense, but simply a commitment to avoid extended periods of sitting still. When we remain seated for too long, circulation to the pelvis diminishes, pelvic floor muscles can weaken, and bladder control becomes more challenging. By simply standing up and walking for 5 to 10 minutes after your breakfast, you actively reduce pelvic congestion and contribute to the health of your tissues. One patient remarked that her little walk to the mailbox after breakfast made me feel like myself again. It was not a strenuous gym workout, it was simply a way of honoring her body's intrinsic need to move. Now I would like to pause for a moment and ask something important. If these steps are resonating with you thus far, please take a second to like this video and subscribe. It signals to me that these conversations are meaningful and helps more women just like you to discover the compassionate care they deserve. And here is something to maintain your curiosity. In just a moment, I am going to share one overlooked beverage that almost no one discusses, yet it makes a surprising difference for both vaginal and urinary health. Stay with me because this small change could add years of comfort and confidence to your life. At this juncture, you might be thinking, can something as minor as a glass of water, a gentle stretch, or a mindful breakfast truly make a substantial difference after the age of 60? And I completely understand that skepticism. Many of my patients once harbored the same doubts, until they witnessed the transformation firsthand in their own lives. Allow me to tell you about Rose, a 72-year-old who sought my care after enduring years of discomfort. She had resigned herself to dryness and irritation as her new normal, quietly tolerating the frustration it injected into her daily existence. She found herself hesitating to travel, avoiding social gatherings, and even withdrawing from intimacy with her husband because she lived in fear of pain and embarrassment. When we sat down together, I encouraged her to begin with small, manageable steps: 30 seconds of observation in the morning, a glass of water before her trip to the bathroom, and a conscious shift toward more nourishing breakfasts. nothing extreme. Within weeks, she began to notice changes: less irritation, fewer urgent dashes to the bathroom, and even a return of a natural comfort she had believed was lost to her forever. She confessed to me, with tears welling in her eyes, "I feel as if I have been given a piece of my life back." Or consider Elaine, the 69-year-old I mentioned earlier, who grappled with the anxiety of occasional leaking. She felt a wave of unease every time she ventured out of her house. After incorporating just 1 minute of pelvic activation into her morning routine, her bladder steadied, and her confidence soared. Elaine proclaimed, "I no longer map out my day based on the location of the nearest restroom. I plan it around the activities I genuinely want to enjoy." These stories are not miraculous occurrences. They are the natural consequence of listening to the body's signals and consistently providing it with what it fundamentally needs. Think of your body as a garden. If you neglect the soil, skip the watering, or fail to notice the encroachment of weeds, the plants will inevitably weaken over time. But when you check the soil each morning, provide it with the right kind of hydration, and gently tend to it, the garden flourishes, sometimes emerging even more beautifully than before. Your pelvic health operates on the very same principle. Small acts of daily care, hydration, observation, gentle activation, thoughtful nourishment, are the sunlight and water that your tissues require. Ignore them, and a quiet decline can creep in. Honor them, and you will be astounded by the amount of strength and vitality you can reclaim. And here is the most encouraging truth: it is never too late to begin. I have witnessed women in their 80s adopt these very habits and experience meaningful, tangible improvements. The body possesses an incredible capacity to respond when it is given the right kind of attention. So, if you have ever found yourself thinking, "I suppose this is just a part of aging," I want you to know that you have significantly more control than you may realize. Your body is resilient. It is waiting for you to notice, to listen, and to care. And when you do, it rewards you with comfort, confidence, and a profound sense of dignity. In just a moment, I will recap the key lessons we have explored today. But before we arrive there, I want to leave you with this thought. Every small step you take is like planting a seed. The more consistently you nurture those seeds, the more robustly your garden of health will grow. We have covered a significant amount of ground together today, and I wish to take a moment to bring it all back into sharp focus. Because genuine change does not stem from hearing information a single time, it comes from internalizing it and putting it into consistent action. So, let us recap. First, your body is in a constant state of communication with you. By taking a moment each morning to observe any changes in your vulva, not with shame but with simple curiosity, you are giving yourself the invaluable gift of early detection and the peace of mind that comes with it. Second, hydration is about more than just quenching thirst. That initial glass of water in the morning primes your circulation, supports the vital work of your kidneys, and gently refreshes the very tissues that are essential for your comfort. Third, your pelvic floor is not a passive structure. A mere 60 seconds of light, intentional movement each morning awakens those muscles, enhances bladder control, and instills a sense of foundational strength that will carry you through your day. Fourth, respecting your body in the shower is every bit as crucial as respecting it in the doctor's clinic. Harsh soaps, scalding hot water, and douching do not promote health. Gentle care, using lukewarm water and a mild unscented cleanser, is all your body truly needs. Fifth, what you place on your plate each morning is either fostering your body's equilibrium or tipping it off balance. A breakfast that is rich in probiotics, healthy fats, and whole foods can positively influence your hormonal signals, tissue resilience, and overall energy. And finally, movement, even just a few minutes after breakfast, prevents the slow, silent weakening that results from excessive sitting. Your body was ingeniously designed to move, and every step you take is an act of honoring that design. These habits might sound simple, perhaps almost too simple to be effective, but taken together, they form a powerful declaration. I am paying attention. I am worthy of being cared for. I am not giving up on my health. I have seen women in their 60s, 70s, and even their 80s completely transform their daily lives with these small, consistent steps. They rediscovered confidence, strength, and dignity, not through prohibitively expensive treatments or illusory miracle cures, but through consistent, loving attention to their own bodies. And if they could achieve this, you can too. So, here is my encouragement to you. Choose just one of these habits to begin tomorrow morning. Perhaps it will be that first glass of water. Maybe it will be 1 minute of pelvic activation. Or perhaps it will be replacing your breakfast pastry with yogurt and berries. Do not postpone action waiting for the perfect moment. The very act of beginning today, not someday, is what unlocks the door to lasting positive change. Before we conclude, I would love to hear from you. Which of these steps feels the most achievable for you to start with? Which one surprised you the most? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Your story might just be the inspiration another woman needs to take her own first step. And if this message has resonated with you, please do not forget to subscribe, tap the notification bell, and share this video with someone you care about. Each time you do so, you are helping another woman discover that aging does not have to equate to decline. It can signify empowerment, if we simply choose to listen and respond. You are not alone on this journey. I'm Dr. Lily Stones, and it has been my sincere privilege to guide you today. Remember, your health is not something that is behind you. It remains in your hands, awaiting your care, your attention, and your love. Take that first step tomorrow morning. Your body will thank you for it. And before we close, please allow me to remind you that this video is intended for educational purposes only. It does not and cannot replace professional medical advice. Every woman's body is unique. If you are experiencing pain, significant changes, or have personal health concerns, it is imperative that you consult with your healthcare provider. Your well-being deserves personalized and expert care,